process from start to finish. The aim of this session is for you to understand the role of the lead IQA and quality assurers, understand some of their paperwork and feel supported by this process. Now, a lead IQA is an internal quality assurance manager. They report directly to a board of directors, and they're there to ensure that we are all achieving the work in line with funding guidelines and with awarding body guidelines. They're there to support and monitor you and help develop you, and also to carry out samples on your evidence to ensure that we're working consistently across the centre. Just to show you some of the forms that your QA is going to be using on you. Now, you can look at these forms because you know the password. Okay. So the first thing that they're there for is to undertake your staff induction. Now, there is a staff induction video, so I'm not going to show you that one on this one, but you should have seen that one. If you haven't seen that, then obviously please A, watch that, but B, let me know, because obviously something's gone wrong somewhere. So, the first thing the QA is going to do with you is they'll set out your staff development plan, and they'll look at the things that you need to do and not do. So if we look at the staff development plan first, so you can see they will talk to you about your key development points, and down here they'll start setting you objectives and things. So if you're new to the company, they are going to be obviously sorting you through your assessors awards. Even if you've done the assessors award, it's good practice for you to still go through this process just to uplevel yourself and make sure that you're working in line as you should be. Further down, they're there to obviously plan and observations of your teaching and learning, and to support you to understand equality, safeguarding and health and safety issues. So that's one of their first roles. Their second role is to work alongside you to undertake observations of your work and discuss your caseloads. So if they have any concerns, they'll fill out an assessor's concern form. So if we open that up, just so you can see what that looks like. Now, the assessor's concerns form is any concerns that you have regarding your caseload, or any concerns that the QA may have regarding you. And again, the concerns are going to be listed there, and they would then be saved on to your personal file on Office 365. The other thing that they'll do is the assessor's interview record, and in there they'll conduct an interview with you and they'll ask you some questions. Enable editing, so there we go. So here we can go through and they'll just ask you questions and they'll put that there. So it's important that you answer those properly, and they'll obviously deal with that for you. The candidate interview, part of their role is obviously to talk to your learners and see how your learners feel. And again, there you can see this is the candidate records that they'll ask your candidates. So there they can ask all of those questions and then they'll be recorded, and again That's then fed back to us for quality assurance monitoring purposes. We'll conduct an employer's observation and record, an employer's interview, and again, they're recorded. And generally we'll do a 10% sample on your caseload, so we won't obviously tell you who it is we're going to interview, but that's the way we do it. And again, they're the things that we want to know if the employer knows. And then observation and observations. Why won't that open? For some reason, that's not going to happen. Okay, the observation and questioning checklist sheet, I'll get that fixed today, is literally them observing you with a candidate, and they'll give you feedback. I'm just having a look at this documents review. Oh no, that's the review process. Okay, so the other things that they'll obviously do, they'll sample your schemes of work, your session plans, and they'll also undertake sampling of your work online and provide you with feedback. So the QA's role really is quite a multiple role. And eventually they will feed all back to us and we monitor them. So the whole point of this support video was to show you the paperwork that the IQA will be using with you. Obviously the QA will be using the Qualls Direct sampling all online. So the sampling plan, the strategy will all take place online. Hopefully you found that useful. If there's anything else you need to know around the QA process, by all means email me at stephen@microsoft.com or visit me on your personal websites, or you can check out the policy procedures and handbooks. I mean, it's probably, just before we do go on that one, it's possibly I should have done just before I do disappear. Under handbooks, IQA has a handbook there, so if you wanted to know what the responsibilities were of the QA, again you can have a read of the handbook, and in there it obviously lists, okay, that's going to download very slowly, it obviously lists all their main duties and responsibilities. There we go, let's get rid of that, enable editing. So you can see there that they're responsible for monitoring the quality assurance process, ensuring that planning is taking place, feedback's taking place, assessment decisions are correct. They sort out the record keeping, obviously claim for certifications. We have kind of three main functions, which is to support the assessor, monitor the quality assurance, and meet external requirements. And there's the roles and responsibilities that they have to do. So when your QA does ask you to do something, I would expect people to give them the courtesy that they would any line manager, because at the end of the day, the internal quality assurer is the person that keeps us all employed, because they're the ones that maintain the standards, and they're the ones that put their neck on the block. when the awarding bodies come out, and they have a huge amount of responsibility, and it's really important that you respect your QAs. If you have a disagreement or an appeal, then by all means you can email me with that and I'll deal with it. But ultimately, when the QA asks you to do something or gives you an action point, I would really appreciate your support in following that advice and guidance that they're given. So, now you've had a little overview of the QA process and the forms that are involved. You obviously won't see the sampling forms until you're online with your online portfolios. I'd like to thank you for watching this session and have a good day. Bye for now.